There are many things I like about the Discord server. Yes, that's right. Tactical Assault VR has a Discord server where I like to use to keep up with not only new updates, up and coming releases, but also bug fixes. These are many things and also a lot of interesting stuff because not only do they like to do leaks as well to leak you either teasing models like for example the Barrett 50 cal, which I thought they were going to be using, or the before the RPKs, and also a few drum mags here and there, but also they like to have another thing about their Discord called the feature suggestions. Um, Now, this is just a little thing where people can just submit ideas and stuff like that. And yes, there are guidelines, and please read the fucking guidelines, or else you're just gonna keep getting scolded for it. I'm joking about that part. But just make sure you read the guidelines first. I made the mistake of reading over it and then just not remembering half of it because I was really tired. I stayed up all night on my phone that night trying to figure out a script to try to pass the time. Anyway, yeah, no, it's on me. But still, let me just go ahead and continue going here. Tactical Assault VR's little forum here has a lot of good ideas, but a lot of them are just not really fitting with the game. Some people suggested World War II weapons, for example, the Mosin Nagant, which I don't think they should add into a game that's all about modern CQB. I suggested, but one thing I said was the PP-19 Bison, which was created in 1993. Well, technically it was created in 1996, and that's where it sought service. But it was pretty much brainstormed in between 1993 and 1995 before going on to being a full-on model. And those in between those 2 years, between 93 and 95, they were coming up with prototypes, stuff like that. The PP-19 Bison was created because of CQB. It was needed to be a reliable gun for CQB and stuff like that. So I suggested it, and a lot of people agreed with me, except it got hit with a little tag, and that is out of scope. Anyway, though, the out of scope tag just pretty much means that that's not where the game is heading, and also it's a great idea, except it's just not what we are looking for. But what they're looking for, because I've noticed one post and it suggests one of my favorite SMGs, even though it's considered a pistol in several states, the CZ Scorpion Evo 3A1. This gun was made between 2001 to 2000, I want to say 6. That's when it was being brainstormed before being put on before seeking service and continuing that service, including the PB-19 Bison. The PB Bison, even though sought service in 1996, is still being in service. But the CZ Scorpion here is still in service since 2009. This little SMG, even though it has a long suppressor, this gun is hands down probably one of the coolest SMGs and fits so well in a game like this and what they're looking for. Each category of every single weapon besides assault rifles is thriving with so many guns, except for the SMGs, the shotguns, the LMGs, and the sniper rifles. I saw a few sniper rifles which genuinely I would love to be implemented into this game, but one thing's for certain, a CZ Scorpion Evo 3 is definitely what we're going to need for this game. Although, yes, I'm technically just saying, I'm voicing what good ideas I think came from this, and I'm just dick riding this one gun because I fucking love this gun alongside with the Honey Badger. I feel like the Honey Badger should be in here too, except I feel like Jarvis is just going to get extremely annoyed and make a gravestone that just says, "Here lies the Honey Badger. Fuck you," or some shit like that. I don't know. I thought that was... I just think it's pretty funny. But anyway, the CZ, definitely something that this game should get, I feel like, because one, the grip style, I feel like, it's pretty cool, but also just the gun itself just would be awesome. Even though it's open bolt, but also a bolt lock weapon, it's kind of like a double security system. but a lot of people who have used the gun would constantly tell you that the mag release is hands down probably one of the most annoying things on the gun. Me, however, I don't think so. Just feel like it's kind of comfortable because you're just pushing with your finger, but a lot of people just like, they try to, and some people it's just not their flavor. For me, it's my Kool-Aid. Anyway, continuing on from this, there is another good ideal. There's a great idea that I saw also from this suggestion form that didn't get flagged for out of scope or anything else, and that is AK attachment rails. Now, a lot of people would just say use the AMD. This piece of shit has an attachment rail, yes, but some people don't want that, okay? Yeah, it's got a few, and also there was one AK that was removed because, like, I don't know why. This gun, my fucking phone is ringing. Now, somebody did suggest to use the AK ADM, or AMD, right? That's the thing, though. Before, and this is an old-ass time ago, I think pretty much before I started playing. No, it was when I was playing. But, I used to use this one gray AK, and I thought it was cool. But instead, the AMD replaced that AK, and it was an AK with full attachment rails, stuff like that, and a hard stock, not this bullshit wired stock. And, low-key, even though I fuck with the AMD, I just genuinely do not, I sometimes want to use something different. And a lot of people have problems with the AK iron sights, which, genuinely, I don't understand why you would have a problem with that. But, let's just go ahead and say this, I think AK attachment rails would go super hard for this. Because think about it. We could put a suppressor on the AK Classic, but yet we can't put anything else. And I feel like if we were to take the AK-74U or AK Classic and just put an attachment rail on it so people can use sights on it, I feel like that would be cool. But then again, maybe it's nothing what they're, looking for. I thought this was something of, a cool idea, but that's just me, though. And these are just two of cool ideas that I thought were in the Discord server. But, of course, there are plenty of others just scrolling through. Genuinely, though, it's, if, you make a suggestion, and it, okay, that's a great idea, you get a few tags put on it by the mods, where it's just like, oh yeah, here's, it's got the weapon tag, stuff like that, possibly a cool weapon, right? A lot of people can go in and say bump, which means to bump it up a thing, and it could get high enough. Well, one thing I saw that had this was the Mark 14 EBR, and genuinely, I thought, yeah, that would be a great idea. Yeah, we have the Mark 12 and the M110, and also just the SVD, which, by the way, the SVD has, an attachment rail. Something with a VSS Classic, now that I'm realizing it. But, back on topic here, I thought that, because we have, 2 semi-automatic Marksman rifles, 3 technically, counting the SVD, and the VSS Classic. The VSS Classic is an automatic sniper, what am I thinking? God damn it. Okay, hold on. Fantastic gun to add to the collection, because I feel like we lack a lot of, semi-automatic sniper rifles. And genuinely, yeah, no, I think that this would be a great idea, and I hands down all for it. But then again, this is all up to what I would say the just the team in general, modeling team, and also Jarvis himself, because we had the Tacvr 7. I'm gonna butcher that so horribly. The Tacvr 7, or Trevor, whatever, was in the game for a while. It was one of the first, I believe, bullpup rifles added to this game, alongside with the L85. Well, Jarvis absolutely hates this fucking gun and decided, yeah, I'm tired of it, boot it out. Because, first off, somebody made a great comment of how this gun is actually, was cool, and honestly, it was hands down probably one of the best guns to use. But also how, the gun was, way better than the L85, which, alright, yeah, I could see that. But another person was very angry at this and was like, "What's wrong with our gun?" And somebody decided to say, "Man, your gun stinks. It's icky." Continuing on though, I feel like the Tacvr 7 should be in the game, but then again, they can only do so much. Yes, I feel like if they add a fuck ton of guns, it's probably gonna kill Quest a lot, or it's just gonna not be able to, for them to keep up to the point where it's like, oh, if one gun has a bug, we have to go for that one. And if you add a fuck ton of guns to it, like Ready or Not, it's most likely gonna keep being bugged. And, you know, I have no experience with VR games, like coding them or making them, which, you know. But then again, I feel like that's one of the reasons why a lot of guns just aren't getting added into the game, which, hands down, I fully agree with, you know? I mean, it's not our game to say. This is still just a suggestion box that people can just make suggestions about and, you know, maybe give them some ideas of, hey, maybe we can do this or do that, you know? But one thing I am gonna say for sure, I feel like what's lacking is the sniper rifle category and the SMG category. I mainly want that CZ Scorpion, and if I do not get it next update, I'm joking, I'm not gonna make a fucking threat. CZ7, AK attachment rails, Mark 14 EBR. I said CZ7, didn't I? I said CZ7. But to just summarize real quick, I feel like my top 3 favorites are hands down CZ7. I said it again. Holy shit, I'm gonna fucking stab myself and crucify myself. But hands down though, I feel like top 3 greatest ideas are CZ Scorpion Evo 3, Mark 14 EBR, and AK attachment rails. I feel like those are cool. There's a lot of cosmetic ideas too, but then again, like, I don't know. Another thing I would love to see would probably be like camo trim around your gun, or just like ghillie trims around the helmet, some stuff like that. But let's be real here, this game is strictly about, you know, you being a first response team and stuff like that. But if it comes to like Overwatch stuff, then yeah, no, I could totally see ghillie suits being added and stuff like that. This video was pretty much just say my favorite ideas that came from this. And remember, all hail Jarvis. Jarvis is love, Jarvis is life, Jarvis is our king. And I feel like it should, you know, probably be, fuck me, god. I'm gonna be like, if I don't get it next update, my whole family is gonna get fucking shot and killed.